Hey everybody, it's me Anthony Fritchley here, and today I'm going to show you my Thomas and Friends ISO / homemade DVD collection. Which most of the Thomas homemade DVDs that I made, well, most of all, they're mostly ISO DVD copies that plays like the real content. It plays like the real DVD content instead of just a bootleg copy. Well, some are just bootleg homemade DVDs that were from the regular DVDs, which I have 2 of them, or maybe one or two were taken from a VHS recording, from a regular VHS, and 2 custom DVDs, which is Henry and Toby. So yeah, I have it right here, including the one with the case. So yeah, so I'm going to show you my Thomas and Friends homemade / ISO DVD collection. So anyways, here we go. Start with this one first. Contains the Best of Thomas collection. Yep. Contains Best of Thomas, Best of Percy, Best of James, Best of Gordon, and the custom ones are Best of Henry and Toby. I wish there were going to be Best of Edward on archive, but sadly I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it online. No joke. I don't know if it is, but here, disc 1 is Best of Thomas. It's a regular DVD. And it's Best of Percy 2002 DVD and Best of James 2002 DVD. Yeah, yes, these are the ISO. These look like the homemade DVD copies, but these DVDs plays like the real 2002 DVDs, because the reason why they play like the real 2002 DVDs is because I download. In case you're wondering about why they use the real, why I said this, because I download the ISO image file and then I burn it to a disc, and now I finally own them now, which I didn't have Best of James and Percy, but now I did. And this is my second copy of Best of James, because this second copy was a better copy than this one, which I'll show you this one later. So yeah, Best of Gordon 2003 or 4 DVD. Well, I could still show you the regular DVDs. Well, mostly I'm showing the homemade DVDs. Why not show you these regular ones? Well, mostly just only for this that are in there, that is. And here are the real homemade custom DVDs. As Best of Henry 2025 homemade DVD and Best of Toby 2025 homemade DVD. I removed these 2 DVDs out that are in there because these are not homemade ISO DVDs copies, because these 2 that were in there were regular DVDs. So I'm only going to show you just the homemade Thomas DVDs, which is an ISO DVD and the homemade bootleg ones, or any of the homemade Thomas DVDs. So yeah. I'm going to show all my homemade Thomas DVDs that are in there. That'll be for the rest of that. Some are just homemade, and the Thomas DVDs that had a VHS release did not have a DVD release at all. Most of the sampler ones, and some are just bootleg homemade DVDs that I made, which I didn't have since I really wanted so bad, but I didn't have a choice because I tried to burn it, but it didn't kind of work. So yeah. Kind of a little messed up, having issues, but yeah. So anyways, here we go. First, here's Make Someone Happy 2002 DVD. Here's Best of James 2002 DVD. This is actually the first Thomas ISO DVD I ever burned. That was downloaded from Internet Archive from an ISO image, and then I burned to a disc, and it works. Yep. And here's Races, Rescues, and Runaways 2002 DVD. Salty Secrets 2002 DVD. And by the way, you guys, I'm gonna tell you if it's really a homemade DVD that I made instead of just an ISO image. Here's Tom's Christmas Wonderland 2002 DVD. And this is actually the last Thomas DVD to own that was just by Goling only, besides Hit Entertainment. Here's Percy's Chocolate Crunch 2003 DVD. Thomas and Friends Snowy Surprise 2003 DVD. Thomas and Friends Fun and Thomas 2003 DVD, Two Thomas Adventures. This is a DVD sampler DVD. The first sampler Thomas DVD I own. Yes, I do have Fun with Thomas on DVD, but it's an ISO copy. And I did do a full rip from part 1, 2, or 3 if you want to check it out. I already did that. And here's Thomas and Friends Get Along 2004 DVD, the first Thomas DVD ever made for 2004. Here's New Friends for Thomas 2004 DVD. That's the storyteller by Michelangelo's. And Thomas and the Jet Engine 2004 DVD. I do have another Thomas and the Jet Engine DVD, but the other one is the sampler Tomy DVD. That was from a very rare DVD. So yeah, which I'll show you in later. Now I have 2 copies of all 3 DVDs of the Thomas and Friends early years. There's disc 1. Now I think these are the collector's edition. I have 2 copies of all 3 discs of the early years. I guess unfortunately the reasons why I decided to, well, originally I was gonna burn disc 3 on disc, but I accidentally burned disc 1 by mistake. So I thought instead of just throwing it away, I decided to make 2 other copies instead. Just disc 1. This is one of the uses kind of fully restored and uses the original UK narrator from 1984 version. Here's disc 2. And disc 3, it's just Fun and Games. 1 is the DVD Monostar disc. And when I burn Thomas DVDs, there are some DVD Plus are double layer DVDs, and some are DVD Monostar DVDs, and recently I burned the discs are regular DVD Plus R discs. And now we're on 2005 DVDs. James Learns a Lesson 2005 DVD, the original 2005 DVD. I burned it with the original 2005 DVD of James Learns a Lesson. Here's Percy Saves the Day 2005 DVD. It's from Michael Brandon. Thomas Comes to Breakfast 2006 DVD, the first Thomas DVD ever made from 2006. For some reason, the sing-along uses Little Engines, just like they did the Percy's Chocolate Crunch on DVD. And by the way, yep, these 2 discs I removed because these weren't homemade ISO DVD copies. So yeah, here's Thomas Halloween Adventures 2006 DVD, Thomas's Special Letter. And yep, this is a bootleg homemade DVD. This is my own homemade DVD copy because I did try to burn a Thomas and the Special Letter ISO DVD many times, but unfortunately it didn't even work properly. So except the warning screen, the Anchor Bay, and the Hit Entertainment logo. So yeah, so I made my own instead, and I used the DVD Plus RW, then I copy it and then burn a disc. So yeah, now the disc is permanently burned. So yeah. By the way, this is from a DVD Plus R double layer. Here's James Goes Buzz Buzz 2007 DVD, and yeah, this is the first Thomas DVD I burned uses the new Hit logo, and it does work pretty good. Here's Thomas's Trackside Tunes. By the way, same thing as Thomas's Special Letter. It's also a homemade bootleg DVD. Sadly, I tried to burn the Thomas and Friends Trackside Tunes on a 2008 DVD, but sadly I couldn't even do it work properly. So I burned I make my own copy instead. So yeah. So here's here's Percy Takes a Plunge 2008 DVD, but it's actually the first Thomas DVD from 2008. Oh, here's Henry the Elephant 2008 DVD. The VHS originally is called the Gallinol Engine. Oh yeah, Percy Takes a Plunge originally the VHS is called Daisy, but so yeah, I did add Daisy / Percy Takes a Plunge. So yeah, and here's Rescue to the Rescue, another Thomas Stories 2008 DVD. So yeah. Now I think that's the last one of our regular retails. Now I'm going to show you the rest of the Sampler Thomas DVDs. Now I'm going to show you all the rest of the Sampler Thomas DVDs, and some are just take-along DVDs. Alright, here we go. Well, two of these have never had a DVD release, but somebody else made a homemade DVD back in 2022, and then upload to archive, and it had an ISO image. So yeah, someone did a good job for that. Here's Thomas and Friends Sodor Stories, 2 Thomas Adventures. The VHS, it was all from a VHS tape, but yeah. Sodor Stories. Yeah, I think this is the same opening, just like from the Fun with Thomas DVD. This is a VHS quality version. It's because someone actually digitized off from a VHS, and then burned into a disc. And here, so is Double Trouble. Somebody added the chapters, unfortunately, so yeah. I did not make this, actually. I just burned an ISO DVD. I did not make a homemade DVD, so it's kind of like a bootleg homemade DVD. I don't know why. But after it ends, it just always repeats it. Instead of just start automatically. So yeah. But it does not have a DVD menu. There's Sodor Stories, 2 Thomas Adventures, and Double Trouble. Or a free video of 2 Thomas Adventures DVD. So yeah. It's actually kind of a take-along VHS copy. I did wrote sampler VHS instead of DVDs because, yeah, it was all from a VHS tape. And in fact, I did not have the VHS tapes. Never did. So yeah. And now we're on take-along sampler DVDs. It's the first, I believe this is the first take-along Thomas DVD. Thomas in a Special Letter, 2003 sampler DVD, I believe. Henry the Elephant. And they only usually have every one episode. James in the Trouble with the Trees, take-along sampler DVD. Quarry Adventures on Sodor, which has the episodes of Rusty the Builder and Thomas Breaks the Rules. So yeah. By the way, I'm guessing this is the last. I don't know if that's the last actual take-along, but it does have. See, I don't know, but oh well. It's a take-along DVD of Quarry Adventures on Sodor, take-along sampler DVD. And here's the very rare. The regular DVD was super rare, hard to find. This is the Story of Thomas and the Jet Engine, 2005 Tomy DVD. I didn't write Hit Entertainment in case I thought it will never have a Hit Entertainment. But after the Thomas and the Jet Engine episode, it does show the name board, but it just cuts off to the promo, unfortunately. And it's only like a 6-minute full DVD. And finally, it's Thomas to the Rescue. See, sampler DVD. It's the one with the new Thomas modeled. And there you have it. Those are my Thomas homemade DVD collection. So is an ISO DVD. So yeah. Some are mostly their ISO image files that use the real DVD content, and some are just the homemade DVDs. So yeah. Some I made and some are just some are not, but yeah. That's all I explained. So yeah, there you have it. My Thomas ISO DVD / homemade DVD collection. Thanks for watching. Peace.